Yes, this episode of Footy Friends is brought to you by our friends at BWS. Get your drinks for game day sorted and enjoy the footy with BWS. Now, we have some very exciting ones in. Mickey Boy has had to shoot off for this episode. Brettles and Izzy Smith. Izzy, how are you?
Very well.
Mate, we get some unbelievable statistics in these games. Really good stats coming through for each round. I reckon you'll enjoy them.
Okay.
Ones you can probably use in Triple M.
You might use it. You will use it.
I'm not a stats guy, though.
No, he's a, what is it, a brain scientist? What did you say that a few weeks ago?
Oh, Brownie just took the bait. So it's either a rocket surgeon or a brain scientist.
Yeah.
And some people just don't pick up on that one, do they?
No. Well, they're certainly not brain scientists.
No. My man used to say, he's not too B-R-I-T-E. And people are like, what do you mean by that? And it's like, it's not E, spelled bright, dickhead.
Very good, Brett. How are you?
Yeah, terrific, mate. Yeah.
Looking forward to a big week of footy?
Can't wait. There's some cracking games.
This could be one of the best rounds of footy amongst us. Have you seen the games?
No, and my son's currently out there with my phone watching tractors.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm going to tell you the game just quickly before we get into them. Sydney Magpies on Friday night.
Cracker.
Huge. Giants Lions.
Massive.
Another big
At
one.
the Gabba.
Yep.
North West Coast, which again is quite
16,
big
17.
for down the ladder. Freo Cats.
Massive.
Essendon Gold Coast.
Big for Essendon.
Big for Essendon. Demons Port.
Massive.
Carlton Blues versus Hawks.
Elimination final.
Yeah. Yep.
Bit of a boring one, but still equivalent is Richmond versus Saints.
Yep.
And then at the Adelaide Oval, Adelaide Dogs.
That's big.
So they're all huge. Massive rounds of footy.
Yep.
Let's start with Sydney Pies on Friday night, 7:40pm SCG. The refreshingly BWS stat for this is Collingwood are 2-6 against the Swans at the SCG since 2015.
As in they've won 2, lost 6.
Yeah.
Sydney win Friday night.
You reckon?
That'd be my pick of the round.
Yeah. What was the prelim the 1 point?
Yeah.
I mean, Collingwood were on a bit of a run, weren't they? But just not the same team. Injuries.
Did Collingwood fatigue after the week they had as well?
Yeah.
With Pendles as 400th?
Is it?
He's out for 10 to 12.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
Okay, I didn't realise it was that long. Yeah. That's a long time.
Season done.
Far out.
I think do they have anyone coming back yet? The Swans, I'm not 100% sure. But they've got to get going and find something.
Yeah.
This is the week to do it if they're going to start
Friday
flicking
night.
it. Friday
Collingwood
night at home.
It'll be packed house.
Yeah. Horse said after their last loss, this is completely and utterly not acceptable.
I know Horse, and I would not like to be in the review today.
How do you know Horse?
Just through footy.
Yeah,
What's South Wales boy.
New South Wales, yeah. I've never met him before, but I just love him. I feel
he's
like
great,
he's just such a cool coach. Like flicks it when he's like wants to be that connection piece, but then also when you lose like that, I'd be scared for that meeting this week.
I would have had gastro.
Yeah, we said this last week, but maybe do you reckon they had the knuckle push-ups this week in the car park?
Maybe
that's what they used to, because apparently the beach it's you can't do the beach sessions down in Sydney because the water's too warm, so there's no real punishment. So apparently the car park, the knuckle push-ups was what they used to do. The Bloods.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to go Swans too.
Yep.
Love it. Saturday, Brisbane versus the Giants at the Gabba.
It's hard to tip against the Lions here because they're going so well, but the Giants do play well up there at the Gabba. The Giants have knocked them off a couple of times. But I don't think they're in as good a form as what they had been in those times, and the Lions are flying.
At the Gabba especially.
They were complete against St Kilda, the Lions.
Yeah.
But sometimes that hurts you in the sense that
it's a bit easy.
Yeah, you've played a team and you can run some patterns that you probably shouldn't run. But I was trying to watch in the last quarter. I was at that game live, and it still looked like they were doing all the right things. So yeah, you'd have to go the Lions.
I think where they're getting their most growth at the moment is Rayner's playing great footy.
Brilliant.
And Zachy Bailey's back playing some really electric footy as well. Both 3 and 20 on the weekend, just gone. So, yeah, they've got so many weapons, the Lions, as do the Giants. But
Cam Rayner looks like he's now got the confidence. He's grown into his body. Like yesterday, he was taking blokes on, just pushing them off. Yeah. And then I heard Sarah Jones on Fox Footy ask him a question referring to Dustin Martin. And does he think he can get to those type of levels? And massive question, one of the greatest of all time. But he wasn't embarrassed, and he didn't feel like the question was too much for him either. And he said, no, that's what I'm aiming for and that's what I expect to do, and my teammates feed off me now. So it's great to see that he's at that level of confidence and he's got that much composure and understanding of his game.
I was listening to Nathan Buckley talk about him this morning too, and said that whilst the Dustin Martin reference is cool, do you see him push him up in the midfield? Because what Nathan was saying was like, how good he is at just playing that position at the moment. And like you said before around in our other episode about how, you've got good midfielders. You don't really need Rayner to push up and play centre bounce. Like, let him just be a really fucking good forward, like half forward player.
You can throw him in there at stages when you know that you need something. But they've got Dunkley, Neal, Ashcroft and McCluggage that all roll through there. But at any point in time now, I think Cam Rayner's now got the confidence that you could throw him there
for a little bit,
and he can blow a game up.
Yeah.
So
if he's not touching it as well, like, it's always good to get in there just to get your hands on it, get a sniff. But I think every side's looking for that DeGoey, Martin type that can go in. Jake Stringer when he's at his absolute best, to go in there and rip a game or turn it, in 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, we forget as well, like with this, I wouldn't compare him to him at the moment, but like Toby and what he does playing forward, like people forget. He broke the record for the most possessions as a first-year player ever. Like, he'd nearly go start in any team's starting midfield.
Yeah. But then 2016 goes as a forward.
That's what I mean.
And has now, 3-time All-Australian captain.
So it's the same thing with Rayner, really, isn't it? Like,
it's a shame that, and you might be able to talk on this a bit better, but it's sort of a shame that GWS don't have the fanfare around them that some other clubs do, because
to reward.
I think Toby would go down as one of the greatest players of the generation, at least. Like, some of the stuff he does is
pound for pound one of the best to do it.
I'd love him. I want him to stay at the Giants forever, but like, you do think, imagine him playing for the Pies or Richmond.
Oh, it'd be absolutely off its head, especially with the personality that he is as well and how competitive he is.
Yeah, and I've said this to a number of people. I had the pleasure of playing with Benny Cousins, and those two are so similar in their mannerisms and the way they carry themselves, but the way they're loved by their teammates. They just command. I'm not South Australian. Command respect.
Are you talking about just that facial expression? Because when Toby does something, he could kick the best guy of all time or punch someone in the face, but he's still just got that one look of like just like deadpan face, like just doesn't like give anything away.
Yeah. I saw something on Instagram the other day where the umpire's like, "Psh, blow the whistle, mate. We've got to stop for his injury." He goes, "I don't give a fuck if he's injured."
Yeah, I know. Get him fucking off. He goes, "I don't give a fuck."
It's funny you talk about that. I obviously played with Luke Hodge, and he just had these eyes. He'd look at you and you'd think, you just have to sharpen up and straighten up straight away. And I played against Jason Horne-Francis, and he's got the same eyes. And I remember comparing, you've compared Cousins and Green. I remember comparing Hodgie and Jason Horne-Francis and thinking he's got the exact same eyes and just whatever it is, command, respect, crazy.
Yeah. That's a big rap on JHF. That's huge. North West Coast 145 Blood and Stone Arena. The refreshingly better stat of this one is Nick Larkey has kicked 22 goals in his past 5 games against West Coast. In those games, he's had a total of 43 kicks only.
Wow. So he's going at over 50%.
Take that one.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
What about, he played Geelong.
Can we send that to Mick? That's a good at the Clarko.
North played Geelong down at Hobart last weekend, so 9 days ago. And he kicked 3 goals and everyone at the ground got free cheeseburgers. So
if he kicks 3,
I'm not sure if that's a celebration.
So good.
Not sure if that runs again against West Coast, but if I was North, I'd be looking for him.
Yeah. Is that actually so? What they put a promo saying if Larky kicks 3, you get a free burger. Is that why he did it?
That was the best.
That is unbelievable.
And the whole crowd, because Geelong got on top in the last quarter, the whole crowd were on edge and on Larky watch.
That is
and then
elite.
When he kicked it, they loved it.
So good.
What do you boys think at the moment of the Waterman stuff? Have you looked too much into this with the contract of he wants to get his contract re-looked at?
That's Barras.
Waterman as well.
Oh, does he?
So from all reports,
mid-contract.
From all reports, because
they'll promise something in verbal but not in writing. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's Barras. Yeah. This one's more around the lines of Waterman because he was sick last year, had a terrible illness, didn't play a lot of footy, signed a contract.
This happens in global sport all the time, and it's hard as a GM of footy. You got to manage salary caps and that. But if you understand that you've got a player that's a star, you want them to be respected because you don't want them to get the shits and leave as well. So. And you see it a lot in NFL where they, like Tyreek Hill, just renegotiated a contract, mid-contract, and I'd love to see more of it in footy because, as you said, guys go through injuries, forms, like different things happen And AFL's such a hard game to play, but when you get stars, you want to pay them.
I think,
it's just hard though. If it goes the other way.
Putting the manager's hat on, exactly right, and that's where they're probably reluctant to, because early on in your career, you pay on projection as to what you think these kids are going to be, and maybe you have to pay overs a little bit. We've seen that certainly up the eastern coast and whatever else. But when it doesn't,
I think you do if you're an underperforming team.
Well, yeah, to try and retain your stars, no doubt. But yeah, I mean, at West Coast there, so you're saying that they should be, just because he's had
I'm not saying, and I don't know,
six good months.
No, and I'm not saying he should at all, because I just don't think you throw money around to pay players. It's just interesting when you look at global sport and AFL's obviously going more towards the American sports and how contracts are done. If West Coast want to keep Waterman, then it's certainly a discussion they'd be looking to have. The thing with other sports is, though, you can cut players easier. They've got less guaranteed money percentage-wise.
And can trade them wherever they want.
Yeah, where our contracts, all the money is guaranteed unless you're on matches, but then, but it's, so if you didn't have fully guaranteed contracts, then it'd be interesting again. I think you'd see a lot more of renegotiation. Anyway, I have no idea about the Waterman status.
Well, that's basically you've ticked it off. But
Barras is going to end up at your old club from all reports.
Hawthorn.
Is that what happens?
Well, I think that's. Is that a savvy move by West Coast as well?
To tip him out?
Well, I just think they're in a completely different phase now.
Yeah. I know.
He's 29 next year.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So he adds so much value. If he went to Hawthorn, he'd add so much value.
Yeah.
And if you could land a first rounder and a second rounder for him or something.
So Hawks go Battle and
you look at that. I mean, they've got Frosty, who he's got he triggered contract for next year, and Blank's coming back off a knee. But other than that, you've got Sicily, who's not really a key back.
No, he's not a key defender.
No, and so you've got to invest in. They think their front end has been going okay.
Yeah.
Mitch Lewis will be back halfway, maybe not even at all next year. We'll see. But, I think, solidifying down back is where they're obviously putting their eggs in that basket.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you look at their midfield now and you look like, Will Day, even Ginnivan, Watson,
Newcombe.
All these sort of Newcombe. Yeah.
Connor McDonald coming up now.
They sort of have, maybe they don't need much more.
They need key backs.
No, like in the mids.
I was going to say.
No, not mids. No, because then they drafted Ward and McKenzie. They're going through there as well. Weddle's playing a bit higher up the ground as well. Yeah, he's just so explosive.
He looks so strong. He looks like one of those blokes who'll just elbow you in the face.
Yeah,
we get off track a little bit there, didn't we?
We did. Sorry
I'm going to tip down at Blunsdon. I'm going to tip North.
North.
Yeah, North for me too. Freo Geelong 4:35 at Optus Stadium, so over in the west.
Who knows?
Refreshingly BWS stat is Geelong have not beaten Fremantle since 2021. The only side they have failed to beat in that period.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
They must have got you early in 2021. Oh, no, sorry, that's 22. I'm thinking of my years just all
right. Those years all
we
blurred.
beat them in 21. Can't even remember when we played them.
2021.
Well, they haven't beaten you. Geelong hasn't beaten Freo since then.
Yeah. And probably the reason is the power around and the explosiveness around their midfield.
Yeah.
If you look at Geelong, their defence has been so strong. Their forward line has been elite. You'd say they're as good as Brisbane in their front half.
Their back line's the worry, Freo, and it was yesterday as well, I think.
So it'll be a battle of the midfields.
Yeah. But, I don't know whether they've got someone to nullify Jez. Young Draper might get thrown that job. I don't think Cox is not the player for it. Pierce, obviously, but he's not playing. So I'd have to...
How far out's Pierce?
Oh, well, he redid his forearm, didn't he?
Will he get back for finals?
I don't know the ins and outs. I'd tip Freo purely off their midfield.
And being at home.
And being at home, yeah. Yep.
I know we joked about this a while ago and I got his name wrong. Jake Tracy. We're calling him Josh Tracy for a while. He's a very good player.
Sorry, say it again.
What did I say his name wrong
Josh
again?
Tracy?
His name is Josh Tracy.
Yeah. Sorry, I said the wrong thing again. I apologise. I did.
I was thinking, I don't know what's happened here.
I love this man. I love him.
So much.
Whatever his name is, I really like him. He's a good player. Got a couple of little tattoos I didn't saw on the weekend.
So I watched him live for the second time yesterday. His ability as a young key forward to just come at the ball, full aggression. He smashed Sheely a couple of times. But his hands is just so strong, and he kicks it beautifully. Yeah. He's kicked 45-15 for the year.
How good is Freo's list over the next
It's been put together really well. Yeah. Freo for me.
Apologies, Josh. Freo for me too.
Yep.
Yeah, I said Freo home.
Essendon Suns. can the Suns get it done at Marvel? 7:30 p.m. at Marvel, obviously. Refreshingly, BWS status. Essendon are 6-0 against Gold Coast at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah.
So,
is the pressure off now with the Suns? No finals, and they're just going to throw everything at Essendon?
Yeah, but I think Essendon have to win. So
that gives them a bit of confidence after that game, beating Fremantle.
Yeah, that's huge. Yesterday they were actually in that game. Their tackling and intent was back to a level that they spoke about, and I was nervous that they wouldn't be back. That they'd just be like, "Oh, it's all words," but they out tackled Freo and actually applied a heap of pressure. It's just their fundamentals that we speak about quite a bit. They lacked a bit of polish, but under the roof again, I think they'll be okay.
I didn't see the game, but I love what Brad Scott's putting together and what he's building there. And I know people are expecting them to be there now, but they're still time away from that.
Well, like we probably wrote off the Lions and the Dogs, I think we got a little bit too far ahead of ourselves with Essendon.
Yeah.
You know, they were sitting second. Everyone's like, "Oh,
their percentage was outside the 8 when you looked at every other team that was running a percentage well over 100."
Yeah.
So
you can't even look at the ladder when you're referring to teams because it gives you a little bit of a
false,
like front of what's actually going on. I think Essendon win as well.
Yeah,
that game was really enjoyable to watch from both teams. I have so much respect for Fremantle from that loss as well, which would be good. Melbourne Port 7:30 at the MCG. The refreshingly BWS stat for this one is Port Adelaide will play their 9th match at the MCG since the start of 2022, which is more than St Kilda, North Melbourne, and Western Bulldogs over the same time.
Wow, they get there a bit.
Yeah, over more teams that are even there. That's pretty impressive. Who wins? I think Port win.
Port.
Yeah, they're just paddling at the moment, the D's.
Yeah.
They're banged up.
What a great story if Port could win it and people were coming for Ken 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But imagine if it's so Port and Brisbane, I thought. We'll think about this last week. Like, what's the best? You know, grand final day, they make the story of like where your season's been. Port and Brisbane would have to have the two most crazy stories heading into a grand final.
Even Bulldogs.
Bulldogs as well. They're the three. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Port for me as well. I think they're too strong. Love Zach Butters so much, so it'll be good to see them at the MCG. Sunday, this is going to be a really, really good game. 1:10 at the MCG. Carlton versus Hawthorn.
Yeah, elimination final.
Huge.
Refreshingly BWS status. Since 2005, only one player has played for both Carlton and Hawthorn. Who do you think it could be?
Since 2005?
Yeah.
God. Can you give me a position?
Which way did they go? Did they go Hawthorn to Carlton?
Hawthorn to Carlton.
Was it Daniel Harford?
That was earlier.
And it
might have been the other way, so it's not him.
2005.
But he did play both.
So it was Carlton to Hawthorn?
No, Hawthorn to Carlton.
Hawthorn to Carlton.
Yeah.
Hawthorn to Carlton.
Are we going to get it or not?
He played on the weekend.
He played?
Oh, I know. Mark Pittner.
Yeah.
Big Brad.
The big pit.
Yeah,
Who
right.
wins?
You know what? I think the Hawks are going to bounce back.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on the Blues, mate. They're defensively, they're all over the joint, and they're so reliant. Chera out again, like he's done a hammy. Cottrell, you can't see him. I mean, they'll get some players back at some point in time, but I'm not sold. It was gallant in defeat against the Pies. Don't get me wrong, but it was left again to Cripps to pick them all up and
First game, Charlie hasn't kicked a goal either.
Sometimes hard games like that against Collingwood, though, get you back into form.
Maybe.
They had to fight. But I don't know. This is a genuine toss of the coin, I think. And to me, this is the game of the round with Sydney and Collingwood.
Yeah.
And there'll be over 90,000 at the G for this, I would have thought.
So you were saying before about Cripper in the midfield. What do you reckon Sam Mitchell does this week? With
Connor Nash must go. I reckon he goes to Cripper.
Goes and just tries to nullify him.
Yeah, and we'll try. Connor Nash's his endurance ability is unbelievable. So he'll try and run off him, I would have thought, a little bit. So stop him at stoppage and then try and run off him. Devil's
advocate for this, and we say the Cripper dominance thing is real. Doesn't that then give those other two midfielders, whoever's there, say Walsh and Hewitt, whoever's
Not necessarily.
playing,
not if he's demanding the taps and
even if he's getting tagged and stuff.
Yeah, he'll demand the taps because he's going to want ball coming in his direction. But that's the the ruck battle is intriguing too with Pitney versus
how good's Meek going?
Because that ability to come across the line and use your size and strength, that's been huge for him.
Yeah, interesting, very interesting. Last,
who'd you tip?
I'm gonna no one. I really don't know in this game. I'm gonna go with the Blues just because I want them to win, but I really have no idea.
No idea. I've got to go the Hawks, don't I? If Dill's going the Blues.
Fair enough.
Richmond St Kilda. 320 Marvel, not much about this game.
Yeah, Saints I think will get it done.
Yeah.
The poor old Tiggies, mate, they're listless at the moment.
I feel sorry for Adam who's in his team.
Same.
Just what do you do?
And that's the thing. It's like people saying, "Oh, what is he? He's joking around." I've heard that commentary as well. So he hasn't had the cattle out there to actually put his best side together.
I think he's just trying to keep the team together.
And and that's the other part. There's so much talk and noise about where people are going and what they're doing. It's like
I've brought this up 15 times about Bolton. You're adamant they won't let him go.
I'm not. No, mate. I know that he's
Baker,
exploring
Bolton,
going.
Graham,
Rioli, Martin.
They could end up with 5, 6, 7 first round picks if they all went.
And then you got to have.
Do you do that if you're Tigers?
Well,
if they're all going to go,
you got to assess.
It's almost better just letting them all go than trying to hang on to one or two of them. Isn't
but Shea's in your prime age bracket, as is Dan Rioli, and they're both contracted, so they obviously wanted them there. They're required players.
The beauty about being contracted though is that you have
to demand a trade.
And you can be hard on it.
And if it doesn't go for them, it doesn't work.
You get to retain your player. But
I almost feel Baker's nearly the most important out of them. He's so consistent. He's just going to rock up.
Yeah.
At the moment, if you're Richmond starting from that low, don't you just want someone that you know is going to just be consistent every week?
Well, you know what you're going to get. He's a tough little prick who he's clean below his knees.
But Bolton's the one.
Yeah, and he's a game changer.
If he could execute his shots on goal more effectively, you'd be talking about him as top 5 player.
He is incredible.
Yeah.
Saints get it done. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens this off-season with the Tigers and what they do. I think it's going to be some big calls.
It'll be. I think is trade period the number one week for the AFL.
Yes.
So it's going to be massive.
It's huge. Huge. It's exciting. Love it. Adelaide Dogs to finish up 4-10 at Adelaide Oval. The refreshingly BW stat is 10 of the past 12 matches between Adelaide and Bulldogs have been a Bulldogs home game. Adelaide have played against the Bulldogs just twice at Adelaide Oval, 2 wins.
Wow. The Western Borises. So Brett's dog is named Boris, but he gave the dog away because he could only have 3 kids. And when he had the third, that was 4. So now the dog's living with the dog got booted up to Kai Abram.
Boris.
Which is fair.
Yeah, it's
what it is.
The boys think I'm too ruthless. He's a dog.
Doesn't even get a FaceTime or anything. Not even for his birthday.
He's getting long in the tooth.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's been around since 2011.
He said if he passed away, he wouldn't even get a FaceTime.
No, he said he would get a FaceTime. He wouldn't get a car trip up there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, good call.
Which is fair.
Yeah,
it's 250 k's away.
Oh God, moving on. Dogs win this one for me. Adelaide Oval. I think it'll.
Yeah, the Dogs are flying at the moment.
Dogs should, but what Adelaide did against Geelong on the weekend, and they're now at home, you could say that it'll be close.
I don't think their midfield's strong enough to go with the Dogs.
No, it's not. But seriously, I just hate tipping at the moment.
Yeah. It's so hard.
It is tricky. Yeah.
Do you reckon that's a pretty good round of footy?
I reckon it's You'd like this to be round 24 and have everything on the line.
Yeah, it'd be unreal.
It's good that it's.
But I think round 24 is setting up a bit like that as well.
A few elimination games where people are still a live chance.
I think the 8 is nearly set.
Well,
does. Well,
Hawthorn, if they can continue to win, they got tricky ones. Collingwood are probably the only side. Yeah, still till 11th.
Like as in, that's still teams
Carlton,
can still
I'm nervous
make
about.
it.
Yeah. Freo, the Footscray, Western Bulldogs are still going well. Yeah.
What about
it's close to being nearly set. I'm nervous for the Blues.
The work that they're talking about with the finals wildcard stuff coming in.
I brought this up on Triple M yesterday because I've been as a player, I was big on it. Why wouldn't, instead of putting another round in the season, create another finals round and
so
have
they
everything
think about
on the
that for next year?
I'm not sure, but imagine this year right as it stands, you'd have Western Bulldogs v Hawthorn, and you'd have Carlton. Imagine Carlton v Essendon wild card weekend at the MCG.
So top 6 set.
Top 6 is set. 7 plays 10. 8 plays 9.
Yeah,
it would be phenomenal. Imagine the revenue you'd generate from a wild card weekend.
But all I think about is this year's probably been the only year when you do it because is the comp going to be this even ever again?
Well, that's what they're setting up for. That's what they want. That's the any given Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. I get that, but it's never been a year where you'd think the 2 teams like Essendon and Hawthorn could actually play in the finals.
Yeah, well, you can't predict the future, can you?
No, you can't.
That's what the AFL is striving for. So
but also,
that's a ridiculous statement.
It's sort of like irrelevant as well, even if, say, 10 isn't as good. They get a chance to put all their eggs in one basket
someone's year
to have a crack at 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't mind it.
Any mixed mailbag this week, mate?
We do, but Mick's not here, so we'll hold off again. Guys, make sure you send in your mixed mailbags, please, and we'll get back to that next week. Apologies on the inconsistency of that. Mick's been in and out.
I won't be here next week or the week after, by the way.
Oh, baby, he's going to be in Bali.
Yeah, going to sun myself.
Oh, mate, have a good trip over there.
Yeah, thanks.
Couple
of bintangs.
Pad Thai and a couple of bintangs.
Yeah.
That's Thai, mate.
Yeah,
you can still get them there, I think.
No, we're going to Bali.
What
Nasi goreng.
Nasi goreng. With the egg on top. How good.
Yeah. Where are you staying?
Malia, which is in Nusa Dua. Yeah,
beautiful. Nice. Bit out.
Yeah, bit out.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm going there as well in a couple of weeks.
Mate. Yeah,
staying at the Kapinski.
Oh, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah,
I'll take a bit of reef oil and
bit out of your sort of bracket. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Which way?
Up the top. Izzy, who wins the flag? Last question. If you had to put it on now.
I don't know. I have no idea.
If you had to put it on someone now.
I'm going to say the Brisbane Lions at round 20, is it?
Yeah.
Look the most complete.
Dogs for me. Flag Boris's.
Flag Boris's. I don't know. I'm going to have to say, I couldn't go to the Lions, could I?
Yes, you can. Oh, mate. Yeah. Go.
Could you go someone outside the top 8?
I couldn't say the Lions after what I've put them through, but I'm going to... If I had to say today, I'd still go Swans.
Yeah.
I think I can flick it back, hopefully, with a big horse.
I'm not confident.
We'll see. Boys, thanks so much.
No worries.
Appreciate you coming in, and a big thank you to our friends at BWS and all of our refreshingly stats. Hey, get your drinks ready for game day at BWS. You go get some beers this weekend.
That's it. Yeah, I need a couple.
You sit around the fire.
Not in Bali. It's pretty hot over there.
Good on you, boys. Thanks. Thanks for listening to another Clubby Sports podcast. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Dyl Friends, on TikTok at Dyl Friends, and if you want to send something in for the show or chat to us on the minis, any bit of feedback, please email me at mailbag@dylanfriends.com. We'll chat to you soon. LXX. Thank you so much.